Recently, a video went viral of a Saudi Pro League player showing off some luxury room filled with expensive-looking table decors and stuff that just screams outright that whatever is here has billions. But this whole thing you see, this casino and Monte Carlo-esque thing, this is a damn plane. Exactly, this is a flying through the air, transporting football players of a league ranked 68th in the world. And the contracts they're giving will make you get your child on the field instantly. They gave Ronaldo $200 million a year. But that's Ronaldo, and he can earn that kind of money, no problem. But then they gave Benzema $100 million a year. Then those numbers the other players are getting become ridiculous. And then they gave Neymar a contract worth about $2.5 million a week. Oh, and they also threw in a whole plane to sweeten the deal. How would you spend trillions of dollars? Buy a house, cars, boats? How about an entire football league? That's what the Saudis are attempting to do. They already bought the actual sport of golf. Oh yeah, that really happened. They straight up pulled out a checkbook and paid to buy an entire sport.
What's happening here is unprecedented. You have a foreign government that's investing in and trying to take over a sport.
And now they have turned their attention to football, which is the most popular sport in the world. It all started when the Saudi investment fund put in a bid to buy Manchester United for $5 billion. Well, the owner said no, despite almost violent protests from the fans to sell. So what now? They tried to buy the biggest club in the world, who said no. So the next option is, of course, Newcastle, obviously for some reason, which they picked up for a low price of $400 million. And they are aiming to bring the club up to compete with the big boys. And they're doing a great job so far. But that didn't bring as big an impact as they thought it would for the country. Welcome to the world of sports washing, where countries and individuals spend a hefty amount in sports to offset some negative public images which the Saudis have in abundance. So they associate themselves with these sports that bring positive emotions with the populace, which in turn brings a more positive feeling around the entity that invested in it. A great example is Qatar and the most recent World Cup held there. First, they blatantly bribed FIFA to get the competition to come to their country and got the schedule to change to winter instead of summer because of the massive temperatures. Not to mention the human rights violations the country had during the construction of stadiums, with over 6,000 people meeting their demise, as reported by The Guardian.
Have no choices. A worker have no choice. No rights, no choice.
But even with all the controversy and major talks of a boycott, the second the ball was kicked, we all forgot about it. So the Saudis are trying to replicate that, but on a yearly basis. The SPL's website says it wants to be the top 10 best leagues in the world, technically, commercially, financially, and in the media. Research carried out in January by the Sports Intelligence Agency, 21st Group, ranked the SPL 68th best domestic league in the world. There is acceptance within the SPL that becoming one of the world's best leagues will not happen overnight, but a plan is in place, supported by enormous financial capital, to accelerate development over the next 5 to 7 years. With Saudi Arabia putting in a strong bid to host the 2030 World Cup, the football fever is underway in the country.
And I think, Saudi will be ready to host any international or big competitions or championships in the future.
But what makes this league different from the big investments we saw from Russian and Chinese leagues in the 2010s? Well, one is the sheer amount of investment put in the league. They have put aside $17 billion for the league until 2030. Which is just insurmountable when compared to other leagues around the world. The league being state-run helps with the financing, and the recent acquisition of the top 4 clubs by the Saudi Public Investment Fund helped them spend however they want to get the top players from around the world. It all started when they made a shock bid to acquire the services of Cristiano Ronaldo after the World Cup for a huge, huge fee of over $200 million a year. And we thought it would stop there, but no. They had other plans. They went on to get even more top-rated players like Benzema, Kante, and now even Neymar, who got the whole jet for himself. Another side the Saudis are keen on exploring is the media and reach of the league. They have instructed IMG, the sports marketing company, to get international broadcast deals. This made it available to 45 countries at the time of writing. One figure close to the SPL believes that getting players with large social media followers like Ronaldo and Neymar to post positive messages about Saudi Arabia and its league is far more powerful than getting people in other countries to watch their games live. Signings with big presences on social media are also expected to be the league's route to achieving its desired speed of growth. The players can accelerate things, said one well-placed source. The new deal with Neymar reflects that, with him getting $500,000 for every such post. The idea is to build up the brands of those clubs, then bring in private investors to buy them. If that plan proves successful, there could be a scenario in which the PIF then takes control of the nation's next 4 big sides and tries to repeat the process. By doing that, the league could change from being 18 state-owned clubs to 18 privately owned clubs, which in turn means they would not have to rely on the government for funding. And what does this mean for the footballing world? Well, the sport is largely dominated by the European leagues. They are considered the pinnacle of competition for football, boasting the best players, managers, and teams in the world. But they simply cannot compete with the contracts the Saudis are handing out. The lack of financial accountability is also a plus for the Saudis. There's even no tax income. This is a massive boost, especially for already established players looking to spend their final years earning as much as they can for the future and their families. The big problem with the Saudi league, though, is the competition. There is a lack of the allure that sports people love. This is what puts the players to Europe and South America. Not just the money, but the competition. The honor of winning the Champions League, the Premier League, the La Liga is seen as the most impressive thing a player can do.
Key is the belief as well. This is great to see a happy.
Sad to say that the Saudi Pro League is not up there with those leagues. These leagues have built up their reputation for a country now, and no matter the money offered, it will not overturn the pull of these competitions. Another problem the league will face is the players themselves. Yes, they will come and play, but the main motivation is always going to be the money and not the competition. This will eventually lead them to not care about the outcome as long as the paychecks are coming. They will need to find a way to offset these problems, because there is no way these players will come if the money wasn't this much. As we all know, football moves on pretty quickly, and it's all about how you wish to be remembered, and as someone who gave it all the highest level of the sport, or someone who opted for the security of a hefty paycheck. Which one would you choose? Let us know in the comments. And as always, see you on the next one.